Kevin, baby, spaceman. Can I call you spaceman?
No, you can't.
Oh, sorry. Well, Kevin.
Mr.
You,
Spacey, actually.
come
I have
on,
awards.
spaceman.
Look, get to the point.
Okay, so you are one of the greatest actors of all time, of our generation,
Tell me something I don't know.
and you're looking for a great script.
I knew that, actually.
Well, have I got the picture for you?
Okay.
Okay, you and Christopher Walken together in a movie.
Oh, my
Okay,
God. I can do my impression for him. Because it's
it will.
fantastic. Did you see me
You
do it
have
on
a.
Saturday Night Live? It was amazing.
I did, Kevin, baby. It was great. Now you're gonna like this too. Director Barry Sonnenfeld.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So
Yep.
that's all you need to know. You can just sign right there.
All right, well, it sounds better than that K-Pax sequel I've been trying to get made.
Just don't read the script and just sign.
Oh, well, how much does it pay?
$100 million.
Oh, just let me sign. I'll sign.
Perfect.
And that's how 9 Lives got made, folks.
We answered it before the podcast began.
No, that's what Kevin Spacey was thinking.
That is what Kevin Spacey was thinking. Give Kevin Spacey some credit. Christopher Walken has done tons of shitty movies, so it's not a surprise.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Christopher Walken he's like that weird uncle who's into like just everything. He just finds positivity in everything. He's just happy to be there, glad to help out and put forth a good effort. That's Christopher Walken.
Talking Cat sounds fantastic.
You know, I was in a movie with talking bears, so
I forgot about that.
talking cats is really the next logical step.
We need to do the Country Bears.
Oh, Jesus.
But anyway, that is another day. This is the film 9 Lives.
Yep.
Starring Kevin Spacey and barely starring Christopher Walken. Jennifer Garner is in it too.
He stars in this movie the way he starred in Click. In fact, he played a very similar character in Click.
I thought you were talking about Kevin Spacey.
No, Christopher Walken.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm almost positive if they're not the same person, these movies share a universe, and those two guys are related. They're like twins or something.
Click is a slightly better film.
Oh, I don't agree. I think they're both equally terrible.
Really? See, I like Click.
Here's my problem with Click is that I got roped into paying theater money for it. And as soon as Adam Sandler was like, oh, boom, and he hits the bed at Bed Bath & Beyond, I was like, I know how this ends, and it's such a punch in the nuts.
Yeah.
So I had to sit through through an hour and probably 20 minutes of I know what's going to happen at the end. I know what's going to happen at the end. All of this is pointless.
Well, let me tell you something about this.
Let me tell you something, brother.
Because let me tell you something. This movie, 9 Lives, has an 11% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, which means, for those of you who are not Rotten Tomato heads, it means that 11% of critics gave it a positive review. Now, that doesn't even mean that 11% of critics loved it. That just means they thought it was enough to say, okay.
That was fine.
Now we're gonna have like a new segment here. It's kind of a segment. I'm gonna do it throughout the episode, but I'm just gonna read a few of the blurbs on Rotten Tomatoes, mostly the negative ones, but the positive ones are pretty funny too because you could tell they're really stretching to say something. This is the consensus. On the main page, there is a critics' consensus, and it takes basically an overarching quote explaining the critique of the movie. Usually this is like, what it lacks in characters it makes up for with this, or the special effects are good but the story is not quite as strong. This one, however, the critics consensus is simply not meow, not ever. That's it.
Dreadful.
That's it. That is the overall opinion of this movie.
Okay.
I'll give you a couple more here to start us off. A reviewer over at RogerEbert.com, obviously not Roger Ebert, has said, "Let's just say I have been to wakes that have elicited more laughs."
To wakes that elicit more laughs. Good God.
And this is gonna be a reoccurring thing we come back to because, guys, this is directed by Barry Sonnenfeld.
I couldn't even believe that.
And if you're not familiar, Barry Sonnenfeld has directed The Addams Family. He has directed Men in Black. He then hit a big decline with Wild Wild West, Men in Black 2, RV, and now Men in Black 3 I thought Men in Black 3 was pretty decent, and then he fell right back off the cliff with this movie, 9 Lives. Because this review says, it's from, now granted this is not a major one, it's from Blu-ray.com, but I just had to put it down. It says, Barry Sonnenfeld, if you're in some type of trouble, blink twice.
That's, yeah.
So I think that's more of a reaching out than a review, but I think it's nice that we still have people like that in the world.
It's, man, the whole time I was watching it, though, I was like, man, I really wish I was watching the Shaggy Dog. Like, not the but the original Shaggy Dog movie.
I was going to say, the Tim Allen one is garbage.
Oh, and this was fantastic.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. So, let's start this film off. Right from the get-go, the movie proves that it has lots of creativity, because we start out with a montage of famous YouTube videos of funny cats.
And the lady with her, my son is this cat.
Wait, what?
You didn't, that was like in the opening montage, like when they were showing all the YouTube cat videos. There was another lady who was like, I know my son was reincarnated and he's in this cat. She was speaking the Mandarin or Laotian or something like that because it was all subtitled, but still.
And we have a very surly voiceover from Kevin Spacey being like, you know what? I hate cats. I don't know why any of you like them because I don't like them. And it could be
has that even at the end. He's like bitter.
It can be argued in this movie that other than, not to jump ahead, but other than him like becoming a better dad, he really doesn't change that much.
No.
He still hates cats.
And here, the thing is, they at the first of the movie, they show him being preoccupied with his business, and, you know, I get that they're trying to say he doesn't take time out for his family and stuff like that. But then they show, like, videos later of him dancing with his daughter, her standing on his feet while they're dancing. I mean, he clearly does make some time for them, but it just seems like they, I don't know, the non-present father figure didn't really, that whole thing they were trying to push didn't really sell or detract for me, because it seemed like, yeah, he was kind of preoccupied, but it doesn't seem like he was downright neglecting them.
Yeah, he was just like a semi-okay father.
Yeah.
Also, this movie also starts, not even the funny cats, but right after that, we have probably the worst CGI I've seen in a long time.
You mean 70% of the movie?
Well, not even the cat, though. It's, as we go in through the city, as the camera pans through the city, it looks like Toy Story. Like, the buildings, none of the buildings look real. None of the scenery looks real. And then we have this
So much green screen in this movie.
Oh, so much green screen. And we have, I mean, nothing will ever be as bad as Shark Boy and Lava Girl in terms of green screen. But
At
the
least,
way
okay, at
they,
least with Shark Boy and Lava Girl, the green screen that they used, there was a tangible reason or excuse. They're on an alien planet.
I
This was
can't believe you
set in
just
New
defended.
York.
I can't
So,
believe you just defended
no, no,
that
no.
movie in
No,
a
I'm
way.
defending their use of green screen. The
You're like,
reasoning for so much green
know what?
screen.
You're like, you know what? I went back and watched that again, and it's a really good movie.
Said me never.
So when we zoom in through the city into a helicopter, or not, yeah, like a helicopter that Kevin Spacey is about to. We meet Kevin Spacey. His name is Tom Brand in this movie,
And you know,
and
sorry.
but really, Donald Trump.
No, because he has empathy. He cares.
Oh, well, I mean, there's elements, I think.
Yes, there's the whole, my building is my penis thing.
Mhm.
That is pervasive, which obviously that's very Trump-esque.
Maybe this movie was in support of Donald Trump, and that's why he's made it to be somewhat likable.
I don't think so. I think it's if anything, if this was aimed towards Donald Trump, it was like you really need to change your ways. Get back to your
That's true.
roots with your family. Stop running for fucking president.
Shit, we're gonna get on a soapbox here, guys.
Clearly did not see the movie.
Um, you don't think Donald Trump saw Nine Lives? I think he probably thought it was the most hilarious movie he's ever seen. He's like, yeah, I don't see a problem with Kevin Spacey in this movie. I think that his character's fine.
It was huge.
So
Huge.
huge. We learned very quickly. Okay, did you think it was weird when? Okay, he's in the helicopter. He's about to jump like with his parachute onto the roof of his building.
Mm-hmm.
Did you think it was weird when he was talking to that guy, and then suddenly we find out that that's his son?
No, because I have like you said, the whole thing is supposed to make him look like shallow and callous, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just uncaring. Even like his kid works for him, but he treats him like an unpaid intern who he could give a shit about.
Well, yeah, there is a line later too where she says, "Yeah, your son had to apply for a job to get you to pay attention to him."
Yeah.
Except not delivered like that, because that's not how Jennifer Garner sounds. She's not an old timey
Yeah,
bank
see?
robber. Yeah, Kevin, you gotta come home. You gotta fuck me. That's right. You gotta fuck me and stop going to work all the time. See?
Oh, could you not do that with an Edward G. Robinson voice?
You never pay attention to me. Kids are waiting at home for food.
It's funny that they did this. Everything about him is very Wall Street. Not only just
Yes.
like the actual place, but the movie. And 80s, very 80s character type.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god, if Michael Douglas was playing Gordon Gekko in that role. And then he becomes a cat. Greed is good.
Meow. Meow is meow.
Meow. Okay, so we're at minute 2 of this movie. So he basically we find out very early on that he thinks his son is a big pussy because he doesn't want to jump out of the helicopter.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were doing a shtick there.
Oh Jesus! Didn't even
realize you were doing that, eh?
Didn't even realize it. Yeah. So anyway, he thinks his son is a big pussy. Oh,
Because don't do that.
because he won't jump out of the helicopter with him with a parachute.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so he's like, what does he say as he jumps out? He says like a very like standard insult, and the son goes, "Good one, Dad."
I don't know. Did
Yeah,
not take note of that.
So something very standard, and the way his son reacts as if he's like admitting like, well, that was a good joke. But anyway, he gets
And
to
it
the
was
roof of the
not,
building.
because it was
No,
not
it wasn't.
memorable at all.
Exactly. I can't even think of what he said. Um,
I really wanted to be more swimming with sharks in this movie. I really did. I wanted him to like just like repeat after me. Would you like that in a pump or a flat?
he's just cursing up a storm.
Yeah.
At the end, the cat's tied up in the fucking in the house with like his son standing over him with a gun. Oh, but seriously, guys, if you have not watched Swimming with Sharks, it's legitimately a great movie.
It's fantastic. It's definitely a must see if you're, especially if you're a Kevin Spacey fan.
Trust me, it won't be on this podcast. Check it out.
No, no. Unless we were like, what were they thinking? Let's make a fantastic movie. That's what they were thinking.
The end. 5-minute podcast. Um. So yeah, so he gets to the roof of the building, and we basically learn that he wants to have the tallest building. Blah 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 blah.
Wang, this is my Wang, 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 Wang.
He wants to have the tallest penis building
In the world.
in the world. And are they in Chicago? Because they constantly mention that this
No, I think
building
they're in
in
New
Chicago.
York.
Okay, because they constantly mention this building in Chicago is gaining on him, and it's probably going to be bigger.
Yeah.
And then later in the movie, the son is showing like some other guy that the building's gonna be bigger using the window and a marker and two buildings that just happen to be outside. And I thought one of them was the Chicago building.
Oh, I thought he had put like a rendering of it up on the window.
Oh, I thought that was just what was outside the window.
Okay.
Can we get Kevin on the phone? He
He's
probably
not
was.
taking our calls.
Let's be honest. Kevin Spacey showed up, shot his scenes, got the fuck out. You know that's what happened.
I'll see you in a few months when you need me in the voiceover for post.
Yeah, can we do all my scenes in a day? Um, okay, so this is weird for me because he lands on the building. He has that whole thing where he's like, "Yeah, my building's going to be huge." They're like, "What about Chicago?" He's like, "Ah, poppycock," right? And then somehow we
Little
cut from
DD.
somehow, yeah, there's all old timey swear words in this movie.
Boy, I'll tell you what I think about Chicago.
I think that's the dog's breakfast, is what
They're a
it
real
is.
pocket full of mayonnaise.
Real pocket full of mayonnaise.
Pocket full of mayonnaise.
Pocket full of mayonnaise. That's disgusting.
Right, exactly.
But okay, were you thrown by when they cut from the roof? They didn't even cut. They panned over to another building where they're having a board meeting, and Kevin just walks in immediately in full suit. Full suit and tie. Like there was no lapse of time. It was just like, boom, there he is.
Honestly, I wasn't, just because I took this movie to be it's cartoon. Everything's cartoon physics. Even though it's real life, everything's cartoon physics.
It was just the way they did it was just jarring, I thought. We meet his lovable family.
Yep. What?
Sorry, I'll say that again. We meet his family.
Wife, Jennifer Gardner.
I will say that the daughter,
Supergirl.
The casting of the daughter, I think she looked quite a bit like Jennifer Garner.
Yes. She also plays young Supergirl on the Supergirl show.
Oh, okay. I've yet to see that program.
First season was really good. I haven't watched a whole lot of the second season.
I just remember the trailers for that show made it look like a sitcom with a superhero.
No, it's not Lois and Clark.
Okay. It kind of looked like the Black Widow parody that Saturday Night Live did. That's why. And it aired like a week after they did that parody, so I thought, was anyone watching?
But yeah, they're getting ready to go to a fundraiser. They're gonna meet the mayor and all that jazz. And Kevin Spacey puts on a Pee Wee Herman suit.
Yes, which, by the way, riveting stuff for a kids movie.
Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of stuff in this movie where I was like, this is a kids movie? Like, this is a family movie?
Oh, and we haven't even gotten to the dark stuff yet.
Yeah, we haven't met the ex-wife.
Oh my God. Also, the kid says she watched his speech 83 times.
Mm,
Again, there's no sense of time in this movie.
no,
Like,
because he delivered it like that afternoon.
right. I don't know if this movie takes place in a week or a year. Like, it could have spanned a year. It could have spanned 5 days. I don't know.
Yeah. So.
There's no telling. But yeah, 83 times. Yeah, they go to the mayor thing because kids are pumped to learn about tall buildings and IPO accounts for the first 20
And
minutes.
don't forget the semi roast that he gets.
Oh my God, yes. She okay. What is the line? Because I wrote it down because I thought it was oh yes. She says he loves the children because they make the best smartphones.
Yep.
This is a kids movie.
Yep. They made a sweatshop joke.
They made a joke about how Kevin Spacey enjoys sweatshop labor because it's cheap.
Yep.
Fuck.
They're truly awful people. Everybody in this movie.
Like these are our heroes, by the way.
Yep.
They are making jokes
She's supposed to be
about.
the one we're kind of rooting for because she wants things to turn around. She wants him, to be a good person, and then she delivers lines like that.
She wants to turn him around, but I mean, sweatshop labor. We can't lose that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just saving you money. Let's make jokes about kids living in toil and poverty.
So then there's the next scene where he's out with his daughter and they're discussing what she wants for her birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And she wants a kitty cat.
She wants a cat, and he doesn't like cats. That's part of the premise, guys.
I have a feeling that if this movie was released in the 90s, it would have had I Got You by James Brown during the trailer.
Oh, wait, refresh.
I Feel Good.
Oh, that one. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I think so. He would have been like, "Am I a cat?" Oh!
I feel good. And him getting into all his cat hijinks.
Oh, and there is a lot of cat hijinks.
Oh.
So many realistic looking cat hijinks.
And puns.
A couple. No, this is
She's already called him a real pussycat at this point.
That's what I was just gonna say. This is the first scene where she says, "Here's my husband. He's a real pussycat."
Yeah.
And it's like, here we go.
Yeah. So after he discusses with his daughter what she wants for her birthday, they cut to a boardroom where he's trying to get the people on the board to help him figure out what to get his daughter for her birthday.
His daughter literally said, "I want a cat," and then he holds a meeting to find out what he should do. Also, if he's never home, why does he care if she has a cat?
Yeah. Because, you're right. If he's supposedly never there, why would he care if there was an animal living there?
I believe this is also where we meet the ex-wife. Because she comes over to talk to Jennifer Garner. She brings, like, her dogs.
Yes,
and her
during the...
horrible daughter.
Oh, she is just a wretched little individual.
Now, I was wondering about this. As I was thinking about this. Now, obviously, David, who is her son, and like with Kevin Spacey, right?
Yep.
Okay. Is that little girl his daughter?
I don't believe so.
Okay, but there's no guy in the picture, right? Because you never see the ex with another guy.
Maybe she married another guy like Kevin Spacey and he's never there.
My thinking was he had an affair. Because she's about the same age as his daughter with Jennifer Garner.
Yes.
Which, by the way, there quite a little age difference there.
That was to me one of the more glaring parts.
And also there's a line where his ex-wife, played by Cheryl Hines, Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Everybody in this movie deserves so much better.
Yeah, Curb Your Enthusiasm, slightly better than 9 Lives.
Yeah. Jennifer Garner, Daredevil, slightly better than 9 Lives.
Elektra, slightly better
Better
than
than
Nine
Nine
Lives.
Lives, but only slightly.
She, she has a line where she tells Jennifer Garner he went for the younger model, and then he's probably going to leave you and go after jailbait.
Yep.
This is a kids
Family movie,
movie,
folks. Family movie.
family film.
Take your kids to see it and explain to them what jailbait is.
Oh my lord. I also like that Kevin Spacey apparently has like the worst cell phone ever because he just throws it in the dash and it recalculates to a
Yeah.
different route, to a
Well,
different cat shop somehow.
that was the magic.
I was gonna say, was that supposed to be like movie magic or something?
Just magic in
Yes.
general.
Oh,
Because he decides he's gonna get her the cat, and
he's gonna do it. Gosh darn it!
but he drives to the Perkins cat
Mhm.
shop, which apparently the idea of location, location, location being the three most important things of real estate is just right out the window. Because I'm pretty sure it's on the same block as the place where Randy Peltzer got Gizmo from in the Gremlins movie.
I, I was just gonna say that it's like the same location.
So out of the way that I wouldn't have any idea how he could afford New York rent in a place like that while being a business.
I have a lot of questions about Christopher Walken in this movie.
I have a lot of questions about
It's
Christopher
like,
Walken in general, but in this movie, yeah, I could see there are a few questions that might be raised.
like you said, how does his business survive? I'd like to know what he is. Because he says, "Oh, I'm a cat whisperer." Clearly, he's some kind of like
Psychic.
psychic slash teleporting alien. I don't know. Like he somehow knows where everyone is and what everyone is doing at any given moment.
Or
Pretty
what they're
much.
running late for, what they need to be doing.
Right. So is he just a crazy stalker?
Again, he's related to the guy in Click. They're wizards.
It does. Isn't
Clearly, Brennan, a wizard did it. A
isn't
wizard
he
did
the
it. That's
angel?
the answer.
Isn't he the angel of death and Click?
I don't. Is he?
Because
I don't
there
know.
is literally a line in Click where he says, "Barry, I'm the angel of death." Maybe he's the angel of death in this movie.
I refuse to go back and verify that information.
You know what? I think this movie takes place after Click. I think after he was the angel of death, it took a toll on him. He retired to a cat shop, but
He decided to open a cat shop.
he still has those angel of death powers,
I liked
but
him
he's
better
using
when
them
he
for
was
good.
Gabriel in the prophecy.
That was before Click.
Way before.
He was a little more brutal then. Um yeah, so Kevin Spacey, sorry, Christopher Walken
Oh,
owns this
and I have
shop.
a note here. Of course, Christopher Walken.
Yeah.
You need a weird guy to do something to be, like I said, a wizard. Of course, Christopher Walken.
I would argue that this is one of his most phoned in performances though. He literally shows up, does his funny voice, and that's it.
Yeah.
He does get to say poopy box, which I will admit made me giggle.
Yes.
Any other actor saying it, I wouldn't have given a thought to it, but Christopher Walken
Poopy
saying poopy
box.
box. Yeah. I saw your picture in the newspapers I put in the poopy box. Do you think he talks like that in real life?
I hope so.
Do you think he's like, if he has a cat, he says like, Georgiana, I gotta get more litter for the poopy box. Oh. So, yeah, Christopher Walken, obviously. Who else are you gonna get for this part? It'd be weird if it was Michael Rappaport.
Although
Honestly.
you'd still have the same talking cadence.
Oh, that's true, I guess. I can't do a Michael Rappaport, so I'm not even gonna try. But yeah, so he goes into this cat shop. Also, whoever like was the production designer or like the cat handler or whatever, it is weird how they group all the cats that look alike together. I thought that was odd.
Oh, I never noticed that.
Well, there's like three orange cats that look identical, and they just like
Three
stare at.
orange cats.
Oh my god,
Three.
that song will come up later, guys. That's an '80s tune, right?
I don't know.
I've heard it before.
I have heard it like I think once or twice. I don't. I'm pretty sure that's at least a '60s tune.
Oh, okay. So the cats are all grouped together. They're all segregated
Stop it.
by color of fur.
Stop it.
That's all I'm saying. Um, and then the cat, uh, in a moment that is just blew my mind, it steps on the remote, and a cat commercial just cues up conveniently on the TV. The meow meow whatever blah blah blah.
Yeah, with the Meow Mix commercial. Yeah.
And then we see a news report that the Chicago Tower is going to be bigger than his tower. Someone in Chicago has a bigger penis. And that does not make him happy. And then we get the creepy Christopher Walken thing where he says, "Don't take that phone call. You're going to be late.
You're running late. Don't take it."
I'm the angel of death, Tom." Pretty sure that line's there.
At the very least, the janitor from Joe Dirt.
Oh my god. Have you seen Kangaroo Jack? I can't find him.
But then he doesn't go to the party.
No, because he gets a call from the... Oh, we never even talked about him really, but he gets a call from Ian, the slimy executive that's trying to sell the company from underneath him.
Gordon Gekko.
Yeah, there
He's
Gordon
essentially
Gekko.
that archetype. I mean, really.
Well, we'll call him Gordon Gekko from now on.
Okay.
Yeah, he calls him to the roof of the building.
Which is exactly where you want to have meetings. You know,
Right, and
on stormy
don't forget
nights in the rain.
He brings the fucking cat with him.
Well,
Why does...
wouldn't want to leave that in the in the car.
Yeah, why does he decide to bring the cat? Because it meows twice. Yeah, so they have their little conversation. I don't even like fucking... He says like something about like we could build an antenna and make it higher, and Kevin Spacey's like, "I'm not running a phone operation," or something.
Oh, I want the tallest. I want the tallest building, not the building with the best reception.
Right.
Yeah.
Then we get... Yeah, so like lightning hits the tower, which is like 20 feet away from where he's standing.
Yep.
It somehow knocks him off the building. And then Gordon Gekko shows his true colors.
He's gonna let him fall to his death.
He shows his true colors.
True colors.
That's why I let you fall. So, yeah, he could have pulled
But he
him
didn't.
back up, and he does not.
Yeah.
And Kevin Spacey, you asshole, he hangs on to the cat basket. As if that's going to help
I'm taking you with me, Mr. Fuzzy Pants.
Oh, right, we didn't even say that. His name is Mr. Fuzzy Pants. By the way.
Apparently that's what the movie was released as in the United Arab Emirates.
It was released as Mr.
Mr.
Fuzzy
Fuzzy
Pants.
Pants, yeah.
Oh, Jesus. So somehow, this is the most bizarre fall
Die Hard.
in movie history. Because he falls down, but then, like, the cat basket, like, clings onto a pole that, like, flings him through a window.
I just... Die Hard.
Yeah, it made no sense. He falls about, like, 10 stories, probably.
And then when he kind of comes to, he realizes their bodies have been switched.
He's a cat. Well, they're not switched because now if this had been a body switch movie.
See, here's the thing. I thought that was going on at first, because when they were in the hospital room, the CGI or the cat stuff is so bad that when Kevin Spacey's or the cat is supposed to be meowing, you don't see its mouth move or anything like that, or they don't
Ever.
show it. So I immediately thought that we were hearing Kevin Spacey talk, and then we were hearing the cat talk inside of Kevin Spacey's body. Or more importantly, hearing its inner meownologue.
Oh my god. You just inceptioned this entire movie. Do you think... Now, let me ask you this question. If you heard the cat meowing as it does at this point in the film, would you take it to the vet?
So that cat did not sound well in a lot of the meowing. Like, I don't know. Maybe they couldn't get Frank Welker, who does like every animal sound in every movie. But
Even Frank Welker was like, "This is shit,
the
guys."
cat did not sound well in a lot of those. And there are times when the cat is supposed to be meowing or meowing with disapproval, and it sounds like it's going feral. That sort of
Yeah,
thing.
like literally, our impressions right there were probably better than the meowing in the movie.
Yes.
It always sounds like it's like it's knocking on death's door. Um, so he's a cat now.
And
What's
Christopher Walken shows up reading Cat Fancy magazine at the.
Yeah, he's just there in the hospital.
Well, to be fair, again, as you said, or as I said, you think he's the angel of death. I just say he's a magical cat wizard who is where he needs to be.
Allow me to clarify. I believe he is the retired angel of death.
Okay.
That still has his powers.
Fine. Who apparently reads Cat Fancy.
Yes, because if you have a cat shop, everything you do must be cat related.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I gotta say that for someone that suddenly wakes up in the body of a cat, Kevin Spacey doesn't react that crazy.
He takes it pretty well. I will say that.
Literally, his line when he looks at his hand and realizes it's the paw, he goes, "Really? That's it." That's it. There's no like crazy looking in the mirror freak out scene. Nope. I have a paw now. Ah, darn, I'm a cat. Oh yeah, I remember reading that this was going to happen in the script.
So I will react accordingly. Oh, really? It wasn't even... I wouldn't be surprised if they did that in post, because Kevin Spacey was reading the script and was like, really?
They just happened to record that. They're like, "Kevin, you mind if we use this?" "I don't give a fuck."
Whatever, just pay me. It's better than that K-Pax sequel.
Can you pay me in advance? Are they really making a K-Pax sequel?
I hope not. I am really joking.
Okay, you were scaring me the last couple times you mentioned it. The first time I said, "Okay, it's just a joke, Brendan. It's okay." But then you said it a couple more times, and you're starting to get me a little nervous here.
Because you know what? That's the only thing that I can think of that would be more ridiculous than this movie.
Yeah, in terms
of Kevin Spacey.
What about a sequel to The Usual Suspects?
See, I still think that you could do that, even though the cat's out of the bag. Yeah. Even though that's the situation with that movie, you could still do something with that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because, I mean, you could have the whole thing where maybe one of the other usual suspects survived and he didn't know, and he's trying to figure out who's trying to get back at him. That is plausible.
You just start the movie with Benicio del Toro crawling out of the sand.
And mumbling.
Casa Souza, flip you, Casa Souza.
So, but yeah. Anyhow.
So what does he first do? As a cat, he tries to make a note, and when he can't do that, he gets shit-faced.
No, he has a fantastic line where he says, "Man, I could really use a mouse right now."
Yeah, ironically, I could use a mouse because he can't operate. Nathan is just dry heaving on the podcast.
So much hate this movie filled me with in some places.
because he's trying to write a message in a hilarious sequence
Yeah.
where he tries to take the cap off a pen. No CGI used in this scene, folks.
Oh, none whatsoever. Old GW sure takes a
And he
beating
finds
throughout
that.
this, doesn't he? Though.
Oh my god, yeah. This filmmaker had an agenda. Barry Sonnenfeld was like, "Take
There's a
that, Bush."
there's a picture in his office with Kevin Spacey's character and George
Mhm.
W. Bush, and every time the cat is or Kevin Spacey is trying to do something, and it's flung across the room, that picture is always the one getting hit, like with ink. What was the other thing? It was the
The
cap of
cap
the yeah.
liquor bottle.
Yeah, and it cracks the thing. So yeah, there's some undertones, subtleties.
Well, there you go. He's right there. He's supposed to. He's definitely. The character's definitely like a Republican.
Yep,
So I mean, Donald Trump, guys.
huge.
Um.
But yeah, then he gets drunk. Yeah.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Okay. Sometimes he has cat qualities,
Mhm.
and sometimes he has people qualities.
Yes,
It's never consistent
but there's
because,
no quality in this movie.
and then the movie has no qualities. But he can't write. Like he can't write anything down, because he tries and it's just scribbles. However, he can get drunk and somehow survive.
Yeah.
I don't recommend you giving
Booze to your
alcohol
cat.
to
Yeah.
your animals, guys.
Although,
Please don't do it.
two side things. One, apparently there was supposed to be a B story about
no.
catnip that was supposed to serve as like an allegory for addiction. But that got cut from the script because apparently it was too dark for a family movie.
Really?
All the other stuff they left in there.
But they left in the shit about
Sweatshops, the jailbait, the cheating on the wives. Perfectly
loveless
fine.
marriages,
Yep.
infidelity.
Perfectly fine. No
Perfectly.
catnip. No addiction. And the other thing, speaking of cats getting drunk, I saw an article on Facebook. So again, take it for what it was worth. There was an ad or a story or something about wine that you can buy for your cats now. There's no alcohol in it, but it is infused with catnip, so it gets your cat good and buzzed.
My God,
What an
guys,
age to be alive in.
guys, don't buy catnip wine. Just give them catnip if you want to give them catnip. You don't have to live in a fantasy where you like to imagine your cat is
As
getting
a
drunk on
person.
wine.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
There was
just
a lot of
them...
leopard print in his office too. Did you notice that?
There's a lot of what?
Leopard print
I did not notice that.
on the chairs and stuff. There was a lot of leopard print. Yeah, leopard print.
Foreshadowing after it already happened.
And this is where he, as we said, they should have changed his name from Mr. Fuzzy Pants to Mr. Boozy Pants.
And Mr. Fuzzy Pants is like the worst name they could have come up with for the cat. Like, seriously. Like,
And he's
yeah.
a mean drunk cat too. Like,
oh, and can we talk about how everyone in this movie is really stupid? Because nobody thinks it's weird that the cat decided to drink alcohol. Jennifer Garner just kind of says, "Oh, I think he's an alcoholic." and then his son is like, "Well, at least he has good taste. Maybe I should put it in his food." Like, no!
I should kill my cat's liver.
Well, he survived it. He survived it once. I guess it should be okay for him.
Yeah.
So Jennifer Garner, we haven't even talked about Jennifer Garner, but her performance is wacky.
Yeah.
Sometimes she looks like a deer in headlights, and sometimes she is so ridiculously over the top, and looks like at the same time mortified to be in the movie. But I mean, Jennifer Garner, come on, you were in Elektra. Don't get on your high horse. But yeah, there's scenes where she reacts to things that the cat is doing, and I'm just like, oh my god, Jennifer Garner, tone it down. Tone it down. Um, we get another cat joke here because he shows up. Kevin Spacey's son shows up to see the cat acting crazy, and they say, she says, Jennifer Garner says, do they have MRIs for cats? And he
Oh
says,
my
"You
god,
mean
yes.
you
Say
mean
it.
a cat scan?"
Ugh. I actually wrote that down.
Because the cat almost stabs itself with a knife and then says, "I wish I had landed on that knife." Kids
There's
movie, guys. Kids movie
there's a lot of product placement in this movie too. I noticed at this
for
point.
children.
Like
Oh, you mean
there's
Fruity Pebbles?
well, no, there's Fruity Pebbles, LG, lots of
Yeah.
LG, Lexus. All these things featured very,
Yep.
very prominently throughout the movie, and it almost like again to a jarring degree.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, it's very
I
it's not,
suppose it kind of
not
goes with the character. I mean, they are supposed to be like the me Wall Street type, I guess, but
doesn't he
still.
also have like an Apple Watch or something?
No, it's an LG smartwatch.
Okay.
And that's what I'm saying. That's where it would. That's definitely product placement because anybody who's going to write that, it's not going to write them talking to their watch. They're going to they've got a cell phone. They stick it up to their ear.
Um, I got another question for you,
Uh
Nathan.
huh.
Do you think hold on, I have to find this line that I wrote down. Okay. Do you think it was dark for a kids movie for a
Yes.
girl to tell another little girl, "I know you're upset because your dad's dying,"
Well, she.
in the way that she did?
Yes, and but I believe we're supposed to think that that girl is a wretched individual, which she is.
It it just reminds me. I don't know why it reminds me of this, but I'm sure you've seen the film Mr. Nanny starring Hulk Hogan.
Yes.
There is a line in that movie where she asks Hulk Hogan about his dad, and he says, and they're talking about heaven, and he says, "I don't think he's up there, though. I think he's in hell." I remember saying, "What?"
Kids movie.
Right. That's also a kids movie. Kids movies are not always appropriate for
Well,
kids.
you know what?
Yes.
I'm of two minds in this situation because I often do think that kids' movies should have elements of the stuff like that, but it shouldn't be
Mm.
so dark that it's like, wait a second, this is a kids' movie?
Right. It's okay for a kids movie to appeal to all ages.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that,
Here,
and to
like,
have little in jokes,
yeah,
but
like Kevin Spacey almost dying in a coma, okay, that's fine. But when you have someone be like,
mhm,
I know you're like letting him fall to his death and then
right.
just carrying on like a sociopath,
Oh yeah, he is a straight sociopath. Gordon
does
Gekko?
not bat an eye. He just goes
None.
back to work.
He's like, "Oh, my wrist hurt because I was trying to pull up your dad."
Yeah.
You son of a bitch. Because he's not like, well, I mean, he's kind of a murderer because
Yeah.
he could have easily, I mean, not maybe not easily, but he could have helped him up.
Yes.
But he just stands there.
Yeah, at the very least, he is he is complicit in Kevin Spacey's death if that were to happen.
I mean, he did fire him, so I mean, let's give him credit. Um, yeah, so yeah, Gordon Gekko, that character is like, he's a sociopath. He's a straight up serial killer, future serial killer, anyway. So the cat again does something crazy
Mm-hmm.
in that it tears up the yellow page.
What's the
Spacey
yellow
cat.
pages?
Yeah, what are the yellow pages?
No.
Generational joke.
She doesn't say what are the yellow pages. What is a yellow pages? Which, as a grammar enthusiast, that was one of the worst parts of the movie for me.
Come on.
It's clearly plural. It should be what are.
You know what? You find the screenwriter and you tweet them that. I actually, you know what? You're gonna have to send out 5 tweets because 5 fucking people wrote this movie.
5 people wrote
5.
this is the best they could come up with.
Five heads got together in a room and said, "Do you like this one? Do you like this one? Do you like this one? Do you like this one?" Okay, well, it's good line. Put it in. What about that reference to infidelity and that earlier one about the kid's dad being dead? Just leave it in.
It's good.
It's too
Call it a
late.
day. Look, I got I got tickets
We
for the
gotta
Lakers.
we gotta film this tomorrow, guys. We're not even done page 10. I can see that. I can see them writing this in like 3 days.
Yeah.
Just on a cocaine high. Um,
So he
yeah,
shreds the yellow pages,
right.
all
Except for one
except for
ad.
one ad for Perkins, Mr.
Mhm.
Perkins, Christopher Walken, retired Angel of Death.
Which again, Jennifer Garner barely reacts to.
Yeah, nothing like, wow, he shredded the entire thing but cut a perfect square around this ad.
Hmm. Yeah.
Considering what's supposed to happen with the daughter, it would have made more sense for her to discover that, in my
Yeah,
opinion,
really.
anyways, right?
Hmm.
So,
Agreed. Um, did we skip? Okay, no. We haven't gotten to the point where he pisses in her purse yet, did we?
uh,
Because there is a part there that
possibly. Because he
okay,
already peed on the rug when he was drunk.
right. I want to mention something here because there is a part where
And
Space
you
Cat.
must have been, because you said you were talking about the part where the wretched little child is saying that, oh, I know you're upset that your dad's dead and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, I think it's that same scene because it's the scene where they're all kind of like eating together. Jennifer Garner sets a place for Kevin Spacey, and the ex-wife is all like, "Well, it's not like he would have been here anyway."
Yeah,
But by the way, he's in a coma, bitch.
yeah. No empathy
Um,
whatsoever from her.
none, none. But in that scene, the cat decides to take a leak in his ex-wife's
Jumps right in and
purse.
takes a piss in it, yeah.
Right. Now, when they're chasing the cat and the cat is flying across the room
Hmm.
to get away,
Yep.
the horrible daughter is taking video, right? Because she's obsessed with social media.
Right. Ugh.
Now, here's the thing. When she's taking video, she's standing behind everyone, right?
Yep.
When you see the video later on YouTube, it's shot as it was shot in the movie. It makes no sense.
That's the one thing in this movie that makes no sense whatsoever.
I know there's many things that make no sense, but that one, just like the grammar bothered you,
Glaring, yeah.
that one irked me. In fact, every time, somehow there are tons of YouTube clips of this cat, and
Yeah.
all of the YouTube clips are just scenes from the movie. So much so that I was like, is this like Spaceballs where they start watching the movie in the middle of the movie?
Well, here's the thing, because that again, that does come up because in after the next scene, which where Christopher Walken shows up as the cat whisperer,
Mm-hmm.
it tells her we might need to get him fixed. Which, on a side note, I'm pretty sure that the vet that came up with neutering a dog or a cat had to be a woman, because only a woman would think cutting a guy's nuts off will fix him.
Right. I agree.
Shout out to Mariah.
Did you? I'll get her in the room. See what she says. Um, did you think it was weird? Like, obviously, as a cat, but you would basically have Christopher Walken threatening to cut off Kevin Spacey's balls.
Uh,
Like,
no, that seems like something Christopher Walken would do.
okay, but you have a grown man threatening to cut off another grown man's balls.
Well, I'll tell you this. When Kevin Spacey did his Christopher Walken impression on Saturday Night Live, apparently they ran into each other backstage at a Saturday Night Live anniversary show, and Kevin Spacey introduced himself, and the first thing Christopher Walken said to him was, "I saw your impression of me Very funny, haha.
That doesn't surprise me in the least.
So, it seems like something Christopher Walken would do. He might possibly want to cut your nuts off.
Well, then I have a question. You have both these guys in the movie. Why is there no scene where he's in making fun of Christopher Walken and doing his voice?
Oh my god, that would have been perfect, wouldn't it?
You had the perfect opportunity to do that.
Perfect opportunity.
Oh, Nathan! Son of a bitch!
Out of nowhere!
I knew you were going to take full advantage of this. You're RKOing me with the cat puns.
I feel we should move on before I get too bad.
Oh, well, you know what, Nathan? They don't make keyboards for paws. Except that cats walk over my keyboard all the time, so that's bullshit.
Even the friggin' the movie poster had a friggin' cat pun on it.
What does it say? Oh,
his life's just been put on
his life
pause. PAWS. Pause.
The ADR in this movie is kind of weird too. When he decides to start, because basically the reason he becomes a better person and a better cat is by the threat of having his nuts cut off.
Yes, because Jennifer Garner does it like immediately after Christopher Walken threatens to do it.
But when he goes in the litter box and pisses, it's like the loudest thing. Like you can hear it over her talking on the phone. And it's like, if your cat is urinating that loudly, I think it's time to go to the vet. Just like they should have done as soon as they got that cat. Because that cat is not healthy.
Sounded sick. Really
Christopher Walken put him in the body of a dying cat. Like when they
well, didn't he say he already used up 7 of his lives or something like that?
That's right. Oh yeah, they barely touch on that, but yeah, he says the cat's used 7 of his lives. So does that mean the cat has come back as a person 7 other times and died?
It's a possibility.
That is,
we get a dead cat high dive almost right away after.
That is gruesome. Just another real quick, another review here, a little blurb. It's Spacey looks like the first actor to this is from the Daily Telegraph. Kevin Spacey looks like the first actor to give a comedic performance in which his own smile looks like it had to be green screened in at a later date.
Just no humor or joy whatsoever in the making of this movie.
Kevin, can you maybe grin in this shot? No. Can't you just add it in later? Everything else is CGI. Oh yeah, so you said Jennifer Garner. So going back to the scene where he starts behaving as a cat. Mm-hmm. Jennifer Garner, you said, also threatens to cut his balls off, right?
Because he steals her keys.
Right. Why does he steal her keys?
He doesn't want her to go see the guy that he thinks she's running around on him with. So again, this movie has a reference to infidelity. Mm.
And the weirdest part of this whole thing is that when she threatens to cut his nuts off, he drops the keys and she's like, okay, I guess that worked.
Before we roll on, is it okay? Do you have cats or you just have dogs?
I have a dog and 3 cats.
Okay. Would you ever put the food right next to the litter box?
No, that bugged me too.
Because we got a cat, and one of the first things we did was put them as far away from each other as possible because a cat's not going to eat right next to where it craps.
No. See, we have there's a little insight into my world. The cat food is elevated on top of a cat house because otherwise the dog will eat it. And the litter box is beside the cat house, but it's enclosed. So no, that litter box in the movie is literally so close that if he kicks it slightly, it's going to end up in his food. Yeah. That's not... Clearly Jennifer Garner in this movie has never owned a cat.
So Barry Sonnenfeld has never owned a cat.
There you go.
He was the director, so...
Well, Jennifer Garner's character, I should say.
She should have spoke up. That
Well,
Jennifer Garner.
I don't think Barry Sonnenfeld was one of the 17 writers on this movie. I could be wrong.
Oh,
I didn't double check that information.
so
Hey, get at us on Twitter. Correct me on the writers thing, guys.
rolling on. She gets her keys, goes to leave, and we get another fine example of, like you said, YouTube slash scene from the movie.
Yeah, because
Because
he
he
jumps
gets out the
down.
window and shimmies along, and then does his high dive into the canopy.
Mm. Which
Which
someone
again,
filmed.
apparently,
Like they didn't set that up whatsoever.
yeah, and it served my theory that this movie operates on cartoon physics
Mm.
because that cat would be fucking dead. Like, there's no way the
Dead.
canopy would have been acted as a trampoline.
Also, the way the cat lands several times, just jumping off a counter, is
Yeah,
not how a cat lands.
no.
And like, if you saw that, if I saw one of my cats land like that on the ground, I would be more than concerned.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that scene where he basically dies and doesn't die, that's something.
And then
Um,
they go to see the piece of property.
mhm.
Um,
Because she's not having an affair.
she's just thinking about leaving him.
Yeah, so it's not infidelity, it's just a reference to divorce.
Yep. Family
Kids,
film.
come watch Nine Lives. I remember when I first saw this. This was the second time. Actually, I watched it three times.
Oh
This
my
is the
god.
had to. Well, I watched it once. I watched it in theaters. I watched it. It was free. Don't worry,
Please,
guys.
yes, please clarify that you work at a theater and saw it for free that way.
It was free. Um, I watched it in theaters. I watched it for the podcast, and then I just kind of skimmed through it again, like just to, get any details I might have missed.
Once. I watched it
What?
once.
Uh, but it was. I remembered it being kind of like weirdly dark, and it was darker than I remembered. Like, I forgot about the cheating thing, and I forgot about the divorce thing. Like, there was other things in this movie where I was like, God damn, this movie is not for children.
But it is for families.
That's right. Um, okay, so where are we? So yeah, he finds out
Three
she just
cool
wants to leave him,
cats.
right?
Yep.
And we'll get to that song, Nathan. It's
Coming
coming
up.
up
It's also
because
by the Coasters. It was the B-side to Charlie Brown.
it's what?
The B-side to that song, Charlie Brown.
Oh, okay.
It apparently came out in 1959.
59. Okay, so
1959.
definitely not the 80s.
Definitely not.
Um, it's an odd choice. Like, it's obvious choice because it has the word cats in it, but I mean it's still kind of an odd choice of song, I
Yeah.
find.
Well, what are you going to put
So
in the Stray Cat Strut?
I don't know. But we see the daughter is now, well, because Jennifer Garner receives some news that he might not he might not wake up. Like,
Yeah,
he's it's not getting any better.
and Gordon Gecko is really pushing to get the plug pulled.
Pull the plug.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, we haven't really talked a lot about what's happening back at the office, but honestly, it's just bullshit. Like, it's just them fighting over the company.
Yeah, it is easily one of the worst B stories. Like, I can't think of a single kid who would be interested in the B story that's going on back at the office, but in
No.
regards to the shareholders and the articles of incorporation and the percentage that he owns and what his son's gonna own if and when he passes away. It's just like, are you kidding me? This
Just
is
go
the
back to the
driest
talking.
B story ever.
Gordon Gecko is like, basically all you need to know is basically he's just continuing to try to sell the company.
It's actually, yeah, it seems like that the B story should be sliced out and made into like a tense adult drama
Right.
about, about the financial world. like
It doesn't
Boiler
exist.
Room or Wall Street or something along those lines.
It
It
has
doesn't
no
fit.
place in this movie.
Not at all. It does not fit at all into this movie.
But anyway, that's what, most of what we're just leaving out because it doesn't really matter. Basically, all you need to know about that is it works out.
And the worst part about it is they cut to that serious B story that doesn't fit into this movie, and then they'll cut back to like this Three Cool Cats, the scene coming up, and the toilet phone and everything.
The toilet phone.
When the ex-wife's daughter is trying to
Oh,
Facebook Kevin
yes.
Spacey's daughter to death, and
Oh, that scene.
yeah, she is a wretched individual.
so so the daughter is watching a perfect crystal clear HD quality video, home video
Now,
of
it's if this is 2016, it would have maybe have been about 5 years ago, so it's not outside the realm of possibility. They are wealthy and can afford, would have been able to afford HD cameras at that time.
mhm.
So
It yeah, I know, but anyway, maybe I'm just getting too old now.
my home movies had date stamps and tracking. Darn it!
My home movies had
We had to hand crank them, and someone played the piano along with them.
So this is the debut in the movie of your favorite song.
Three cool cats.
Because like we said earlier, it's Kevin Spacey in the worst fucking wig I've ever seen.
Oh, it's brutal, isn't it?
It's like he's got the thinnest, like orangey brown hair.
Definitely not
dancing,
Kevin Spacey's or natural hair
not
color.
his hair. I
No.
don't think either time it's his hair.
No.
I think he barely has hair at this point. But he's dancing with his daughter, who is probably like about, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years younger.
Yeah, and they're doing the whole cutesy thing where she's standing on his feet while they dance.
Yeah.
And they're clearly having a very sweet and precious moment, thus disproving rather the fact that he is an absentee father.
Well, is this movie trying to say that he used to be a good father?
I don't know.
Because they don't really touch on that.
Yeah.
They
Like I
just kinda
said,
say-
at the worst, he's a tad preoccupied with what's happening at the office.
Well, even
And
when he goes
considering they're-
home,
Considering they're trying to sell the business out from underneath him, I can't say I blame him.
yeah,
So
like even when he goes home earlier in the movie, he's very like
there,
loving.
yeah. I mean, he's making.
I mean, he forgets.
He doesn't. Maybe he doesn't answer the phone right away every single time when his wife calls, but they clearly are talking about that whole thing, and they're not. It's not a screaming match that would lead you to think that she's going to divorce him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there's a lot of odd choices in this movie.
So we get. So she's watching the video. She starts crying. Spacey Cat tries to cheer her up by bouncing a balloon back and forth, something cats do all the time.
Yeah, without popping
Jumping
them
up in
whatsoever.
the air. What's that? Without popping it.
Without
Yeah,
popping
Mariah was watching this movie with me, and she mentioned that as well.
Yeah.
That the balloon doesn't pop, even though the cat is putting its claws on it.
Yeah.
And then she kind of sees the foosball table he bought her, which she clearly is uses all the time.
Love
And-
Dad.
And he looks at it and says, "Oh, I should have been a better dad." As if we didn't get the message, he spells it out for us as well.
Yeah. And not even he. That's exactly it. He should have been a better dad. Not I am the worst dad ever.
Right.
Because clearly there was again he had moments and he cared and he loved his daughter and his second wife quite a bit. It's just he has issues prioritizing. He's not a bad dad. He just could be better.
He's really not that bad.
Really not.
Yeah, exactly. So this is where we get the horrible little demon daughter
Oh,
walking
she's
in.
just the worst.
She takes a picture of a
takes a
Spacey's
video.
daughter. Is it a video or just a
She's-
picture?
I thought it was a video. Either way, she's crying
Yeah, and
because
she
her
takes
dad is dying. He's in a coma.
He is knocking on death's door, and this girl is like, it's bad for your complexion.
Yeah.
So she's trying to upload the video or the photo or whatever
It's
of
this
her crying.
Queen Crybaby or something like that.
Yeah, the cat knocks the phone over. Spacey cat knocks the phone over to his daughter, who sees it. She's like, "What are you doing?" And then this line creeped me out to no extent, to every extent. I don't know how to put this. Okay, she says, "What are you doing posting this online?" She says, "I'm putting it out there so boys will want to take care of you."
Yeah.
That gave me the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah.
Boys will want to see that you're vulnerable.
And
That's her line.
Yeah.
I'm like, this girl is like, if these were like older, like teenagers, that line would basically be like, I'm gonna put this online so boys will want to fuck you.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, what?
Well, I mean, don't forget who, if I can even try to muster up a defense or a reasoning rather for why she's like this. Her mother, as a role model, is a kept woman, obviously, right? So her daughter's idea of what an ideal relationship would be, it would be to be a kept woman. However, her reasoning of saying, "Oh, I'm trying to do this so boys will want to take care of you," kind of goes out the door with the next line when Kevin Spacey's daughter says, "Yeah, but you sent it to everybody in the class. Not just the boys, the girls too." So she's clearly trying to Facebook her to death.
Right. Yeah, she's terrible.
But she throws her phone in the toilet, and that's where we get the toilet phone.
Right, and then she says, "Ew!" And I think that's the last time we see her in the movie.
Oh, thankfully.
I got a question about the ex though, because she's always making cracks about Spacey and stuff, and like you think, oh, she's kind of a villain, but like then she also does some good stuff too. Like she's not really, like she kind of saves the day, sort of.
There's a lot of plot convenience.
Yeah, no one. Fuck this movie, Nathan.
That's it. Mic drop. We're done. We're not even getting to the end.
Fuck this movie. I also thought, okay, so the daughter thing happens. Okay, great. This is now we go back to the office again. It's just bullshit. There is
one of the only times I have an office note, I think, in the movie, where we notice. You kind of notice that the tower they're building looks like a middle finger.
I did not notice
like
that.
They're flipping off the city with the city skyline.
No, they're flipping off the viewer.
Yeah, well, that too. And then, of course, that fantastic poster joke.
Okay, what's the joke? Because he says, "Hey, hang in there," and then we see a poster that says "Hang in there" with a cat on it. I don't
Congratulations, there's the joke. No, that's the joke. That's
the punchline.
Yep.
That the poster said the same thing that he just said.
Yep, that's it. He strikes the same pose as the famous poster with the cat hanging on the rope that says "Hang in there, baby."
That is the fucking joke.
That's it.
Fuck me.
And in case you didn't get it, they'll show you the picture. Because subtlety
is something this movie does not have. Okay, so we go back to the house. There is a really kind of a creepy moment. Maybe it's not creepy and it's just me, but when she says, "Hey, you want to come to bed?" to the cat, I was like, this feels weirdly intimate. like Jennifer Garner clearly knows that it's supposed to be Kevin Spacey, like the actress. And it just feels like she's sharing a scene with him just laying in bed together. And I don't know, I was a little creeped out by it.
Yeah, well...
Did you find it a little off?
I found it... I didn't so much find it off as it just... Again, it seemed out of character or for what has been going on in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Because the cat she's never let the cat into the room before. There's even the scene towards the first of the movie where she's in bed and she's like trying to console her daughter because she's so upset about her dad being in a coma, and the cat's out at the door because she's like, "Oh, it's bedtime in here," saying you're not allowed in the bedrooms. And then
Mhm.
later in the movie, she's like, "Oh, come on in, come on."
Yeah, there's no like transition. It's just okay.
Yeah, but again, it's just more plot convenience. And then what is in the next scene? Gordon Gekko shows up
Yeah.
and gets clawed in the nuts. Or I wrote here he should have changed his name to Claude Balls.
This is Jennifer Garner's best acting, I think, in this scene.
Her only acting.
Which her reactions to him getting clawed
Yeah.
are like that of a Warner Brothers cartoon. And oh, she also has a thing earlier, not to backtrack too much, but earlier when she meets with the real estate guy, the way she says like, "Mr. Fuzzy Pants, what are you doing here?" It's just so like
What in the world?
like I don't know. I don't think Jennifer Garner is awful because she's been okay in some stuff, but like oh, this movie, she just makes the wildest acting choices. I'm not a fan, but you know, she's okay.
Mm.
Um okay, so this part I also found horrifying because the daughter figures it out. Oh, somehow the cat is in its cage, like it's put in the cage within seconds she has it in her backpack.
Yeah.
Did you notice that? Like that took no time at all. Um, she walks out with the cat because
Yeah. Okay. Going
she's
out.
figured
Bye.
it
See you
out.
later.
She's figured out. Are you going to be okay? Yeah, it's the daytime and I'm 11.
So bye. Things and stuff.
Yeah,
Glitter, sparkles, and unicorn.
that I think that's actually the line. So she leaves with the cat and goes to Perkins' pet shop because Nathan, she's figured it out
Yeah.
all by herself. And
It just
here,
here's the thing. It seems like there may have been some sub stuff cut where she is legitimately figuring it out, because the only other time you get before that is where she's kind of looking up Egyptian cat mysticism.
that's it.
That's it.
That's it. Although
Oh,
the
and when she
cat
sees Tom, when he spelled out Tom. By the
with the
way,
yarn.
it took me the entire goddamn movie to get that cat pun.
Oh, I didn't even.
He's a Tom cat.
Fuck this movie.
Oh.
Can we say that she probably should have been a little startled when the cat pointed her to the right answer when she was doing her homework too?
Maybe. Probably.
Wow, that is the right answer. Oh well.
This next part, where you said where she goes to Christopher Walken's cat shop, and all the cats are talking to him, are they
Yes.
all dead people?
That is my question. That is what I was wondering. Are these all people that have been put into cats and their bodies never woke up?
Yeah,
They have to be.
they gotta be.
Earlier in the movie, you don't hear them talk.
Nope.
And they have lines like, "You'll be happier like us." Like, this is some Twilight Zone shit.
Definitely.
I'm glad you picked up on this because I was like, I better not be the only one that's noticing this. This is creepy as shit. And they have some of them have some strange voices too. Some very odd choices.
But she goes into the shop, and she's
So
basically
he has
saying that she's suspecting.
right.
She hasn't 100%. She's not 100% on board with the idea that her dad's in a cat.
No, because she hasn't read all the Egyptian mysticism books yet.
But then Christopher Walken plays three cool cats.
Which he has ready to go on a record.
To be fair, he is a psychic retired angel of death.
He is. Yep, that's what it is.
Yeah. So, and then he dances with his paws on her feet.
Guys, don't dance with your cats.
Especially guys. Guys, don't dance with your cats.
Do not dance with your cats. You can get away with that with your dog for about a minute. Not even a minute, like 10 seconds. Don't do it with your cats.
Depends how big the dog is.
Yeah. Don't dance with your cats or your miniature poodles.
Me and my Pekingese cut a rug every Saturday night.
And then we get a very dark part of the movie because we cut back to the hospital. Because basically, David, Kevin Spacey's son at this point, has lost hope.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not going to get the company back. It's over.
Right.
I lost
Okay.
all hope.
Yeah, because he discovered the articles of incorporation that were in his Kevin Spacey's ex-wife's divorce papers. So he takes the articles of incorporation, calls a board meeting. Again, we've got to run right through this because it doesn't mean shit. Calls the board meeting. Gordon Gekko finds out about it, cancels the board meeting, and then fires David.
Mm-hmm.
In which David, as he leaves, goes out with his parachute with a note that says, "For when you're a real man, signed Dad."
But when he tells his dad, I'm going to go take my first jump and my last jump,
Yeah, that really sounds like he's gonna kill himself.
um, it's definitely what it is. Because, well, he's not going to, but it definitely sounds like it because I'm pretty sure that's how Kevin Spacey interprets it.
Yeah, well, that's
Because
how else are you supposed to interpret it?
wow, why would you word it like that? Why would you say, I've blown it all. I'm going to take my first and my last jump. And then he walks off solemnly, and Spacey Cat is like, wait, no!
Yes, he
And
becomes
chases
parkour
after
cat.
him. Hey, kids, there's going to be a suicide attempt in this movie.
Yes, and this is the part where Kevin Spacey has to decide whether he's gonna let his own body die and stay a cat, or stay behind and get back into his body.
Yeah,
Because
because
they're
she's
gonna
like,
pull the plug. Because they talk about DNRs.
mm-hmm. again, yeah. More stuff, more fun stuff for the kiddies.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
Mm. My cat hated
Um,
this movie.
what's that?
My cat hated this movie.
Yeah, my cats were not fans. They pointed out many times that
Bullshit.
they were not cat qualities. Yeah, cats do not land like that. Brendan, please refrain from watching this movie. And they did talk. So okay, when I first saw this movie, I actually forgot about the whole parachute thing. So when he says that line and last jump, I actually bought into it for a second. I was like, wait, he's gonna kill himself?
Yeah.
Like, because when he gets in the elevator, it's like that scene in like Royal Tenenbaums. I pictured like needle in the hay.
And he's just staring straight ahead as the green screen goes on around behind him.
Mm-hmm. Yes, the very realistic green screen. Um, so this is the big climax. This is the unveiling of the building,
Mm-hmm.
where
And this is
Gordon
where the
Gekko.
Gordon Gekko is going to take the company public, even though he has no real authority to do so.
No, that's another thing too. Like, on what authority? Like, Kevin Spacey's character's not dead, um, and it's not like he's next in line.
Yeah.
So he's trying. He's at the unveiling. Spacey Cat hitches a ride on a bike messenger. Doesn't
Mm-hmm.
notice he's there the whole time.
Right.
And how do they get rid of? How does the security guard get rid of a harmless cat standing in front of the building, Nathan?
Let's get toss him in the garbage
Yeah, in a
in a
plastic
plastic
bag.
bag. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, although this is one of the points where I actually did kind of laugh, and it's because Christopher Walken says it when he's
Oh,
about to dump the cat in the dumpster, and he's like, "Oh, Mr. Fuzzy Pants, you got away. Thank you for finding my cat." And the guy's like, "Get your cat out of here." He hissed and scratched at me, and
yeah, yeah.
Christopher Walken goes, "Wow, that must have been so scary for you."
That did make me laugh as well.
Because the guy is he's a walking slab of beef. The
Hmm.
guy's huge, and he's afraid about the cat scratching him.
Yeah, Christopher Walken. Yeah, that is a legitimately amusing line.
It must have been so
We
scary for you.
we have found one in the entire 86 minutes.
Yeah.
It must have been so scary for you. Um.
So then we get in
Okay.
the kids. This is where your YouTube video thing comes in because the two
Okay.
security
Yes.
guards.
More disturbing this here because the security guards are watching the YouTube video, then they see the real cat,
They see the
and they
real
say,
cat. Yep.
"We're gonna blow up. We're what?
We're gonna break the internet.
We're gonna break the internet by recording a video of them tasing a cat."
No, but here's the thing. I took it to mean that they recognized that that cat was the cat that they saw in their video,
Mm-hmm.
right? And they clearly like this cat. Their first reaction is to tase it.
Mm-hmm. And film it. Like you guys are not gonna break the internet. You're gonna break the law.
You're gonna break the law and get arrested for animal cruelty. That's right.
Yeah, you're gonna put the video on. Like, are these guys? These guys must be functionally like. I don't think they're functional because for someone to think I'm gonna put this video online of me tasing a cat and it's gonna be a viral video and everybody's gonna think it's so funny. Like, I don't think a video of someone tasing a cat is funny.
Yeah. It
Like,
would
I don't
definitely
know.
not be met with laughter. It would be met with way more scorn.
Oh my lord! Like, what is wrong with these two guys?
The good thing
And,
is they end up tasing each other. So
I think he tases them in the nuts too, doesn't
yeah, yeah, because
he? Hilarious.
lols.
Also, I have a theory that they can hear the cat at one point
Why do you say
because when they notice on the camera, they see that David is on the roof ready to jump.
that?
They get in the elevator and he's about to load a cartridge. Spacey Cat says, "Don't even think about it," and he takes it out.
Oh, okay.
I was like, "Qua?"
Maybe it was the electricity.
But at this point, honestly, at this point of the movie, I was just like, I don't fucking care. Fuck this movie. So, okay, big climax. He's gonna jump.
Yep.
The cat. What the fuck happens here? I was confused.
Okay,
The cat
so
grabs
David
something?
jumps, and Kevin Spacey, as a cat, thinks he's gonna save him,
Right.
and he grabs like a piece of wire or cable, and,
Which is fair.
yeah, and jumps off. This is one of my favorite parts of the movie not because of the movie itself, because Patty and I kept shouting better movie names at the movie while he was doing this.
Oh my god.
And I was like, Die Hard. And she was like, I don't think she was like The Rock, and I was like James Bond.
I would rather watch Moonraker than this movie.
I would rather watch On Her Majesty's Secret Service than this movie.
Oh, good lord. This never happened to the other fella. Yep, so the Great Fall and more terrific green screen.
Well, David, boom, pulls the chute.
No, he sees the cat and says, "Mr. Fuzzy Pants," doesn't reach out and try to save him or anything.
They just look at each other and have a moment.
He pulls the chute knowing that the cat will fall to its death.
Yes, he didn't even try to save the cat.
No, he was right in front of
that
it.
means he's not the hero of this movie because he did not save the cat.
He's not the hero. That's right.
No save the cat moment.
He did not have a literal save the cat moment. You're right.
Ugh.
And then just as the cat, I'm assuming the cat splatters on the ground,
which nobody takes note of whatsoever at the press conference.
Kevin Spacey wakes up and says, "Meow, that hurt." Which I'm sure he shot once and said, "Guys, I'm done.
If you didn't get it, I'm never doing it again."
I was in 7.
I have an Oscar.
I have an Oscar. I've been nominated several times. Do you think when he gets his Razzie, he's going to put it right next to his Oscar?
I hope so.
I hope he accepts it.
Because that's what Halle Berry did.
Halle Berry and Sandy Bullock
showed up and said thank you.
Yep.
Good for them.
Her, Sandy Bullock, and Tom Green all accepted their Razzies in person. I would like to see Kevin Spacey do the same.
That would be fantastic. I could see him doing that sort of thing too.
I feel like he has a sense of humor that he would do it.
Yep.
Um, yeah, meow, that hurt, as he wakes up. One take, got it, print. Not doing it again. So much so that I bet that if they didn't get it, they would have just cut to him awake.
Yeah, because he would not shot that again.
At least Gordon Gekko gets his comeuppance here.
Yes.
Hmm.
I wouldn't answer that call. You're not gonna like where it's going.
Mm-hmm. Because he gets hit by a truck.
Yeah.
He becomes Little Bub.
Oh, lunacy. Just absolute lunacy.
He becomes a cat, and it's Little Bub. And if nobody knows who Little Bub is, it's that grumpy cat's like sister
Mm.
or brother or something. It's an internet thing.
Trust me, if you're going out of your way to listen to this podcast, you probably know who Little Bub is.
That's true. And if you don't, you know what? It doesn't
You're already
matter.
on the internet. Take a quick peek.
It's I'm gonna say I do find that cat pretty adorable.
Dorbs.
It is adorbs.
So,
So much so that when I was watching the movie, I was like, "Oh, Little Bub," and then I remembered that I was watching Nine Lives.
yeah. And then the final scene of the movie. Literally the final scene of the movie. There's no, happy pan out moment or anything like that. So, Kevin Spacey goes into Perkins' cat shop or whatever. Gordon Gekko is Little Bub, and as soon as he steps in the door, like the cat starts losing its mind. Of course,
Again, doesn't sound healthy.
no, not at all. And
maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's when a person becomes a cat, they suddenly sound like an unhealthy animal.
I'll be keeping an ear out for that then.
What?
I'll be keeping an ear out for that then.
Yeah.
And so they're looking for, Kevin Spacey's looking for a dog.
Right. Because he still hates cats.
Because he still hates cats. Even says, actually, in one of the closing narratives that it feels that they would eat you in the night if they ran out of food.
Yeah. He's like, if you think I've changed, I haven't.
Think I've learned anything? Nope.
You spent 86 minutes watching this for no reason.
Yeah, there's no Aesop here whatsoever.
If Ashton Kutcher had came out at the end and been like, I punked the whole audience, I would have not been surprised. Thanks, Kevin.
That would have been hilarious on such a Kaufman level.
Right?
Absolutely. I would have given them. That would immediately would have changed my feelings about this movie if that had happened.
5 stars.
Absolutely, one of the funniest jokes ever told, and the longest.
Okay, so yeah, so look, the movie ends very abruptly.
Yes, because she gets to have Mr. Fuzzy Pants back because he's still alive. That is lunacy. That cat is pizza.
That cat is dead.
Absolutely.
That cat splattered on the ground. That cat is dead. There's no way it's still alive.
And apparently he gets to spend his last of his 9 lives with Kevin Spacey and young Supergirl.
And then it ends just like that.
Literally just like that. Boom. Hard black
credits.
Cut. Done.
Yep. That's it. What did you say? Hard what?
It's a hard black cut. Done.
Okay, cut. That's not what I heard.
Awful. You're a wretched person.
Okay, so I did. Now we come to the conclusion of the movie. I did have one more negative review blurb, and there's actually 2 positive ones. So here's the last negative review blurb.
Are they PAWS-itive ones?
You're a real piece of shit.
They're positive.
So the negative review is from the LA Times. And
surprise!
The quote is, "A Frankenstein's monster of Hollywood's worst instincts. A movie made with a math formula where its vision should have been. The fact of the matter is, you're gonna need 9 wines to enjoy 9 lives.
Jesus Christ, did he use a Mad Libs to write that?
I would argue 12 wines.
That is easily one of the worst reviews I've ever heard. Not in the, wow, they slammed that movie, but honest to God, I could have crapped out a more insightful review for this movie, even if it had been negative.
I just enjoy the 9 wines part.
That was a dreadful review.
Okay, here are the 2 most positive reviews I could find on this
I love
movie.
how you put in that clarifier, the most positive. Not in the fact that they are positive, but just, they're saying it's along the lines of my wife's review of this movie was, it wasn't horrible.
These are technically fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. 2 of them I found. The other ones were just like, there's like websites I'd never heard of. Well, these I never heard of either, but anyway, this first one is from Cinemania. Mm-hmm. It says, this movie is not as funny as it wants to be, but it will increase the adoption of cats.
Okay.
That is the positive
review. Came out of it, yeah.
That is a 3 out of 5.
Wow, that's generous.
Because I'm guessing because it will increase the adoption of cats, and that's a cause they feel strongly about.
Thing, yep.
Okay, this one is actually, I do know this reviewer website. This is from Forbes. You ready?
Kevin Spacey was making fantastic financial decisions in this movie, says Forbes magazine.
Here we go.
Go ahead.
A very simple review. Well, it's better than Suicide Squad. 3 stars. Sorry, my bad. 2 stars. 2 stars out of 4.
Whoa. That is a scorch and a half to Suicide Squad. Oh my god.
You know what? I almost agree.
Wow.
Because at least this movie is not 2.5 hours.
Oh, yeah. At least it's got a fairly linear storyline, too.
So, well, it's better than Suicide Squad is the most positive review I could find of this movie.
Oh.
So, would you recommend people watch this?
Not really, no.
I would recommend if you... Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, aside from the hyperbole vitriol I've given it in regards to it really is, it just exists. It's not much of a movie, in my opinion. Like, if you want to see a soul transfer movie or conscience transfer movie, check out something like Shaggy Dog, the original one, Shaggy DA, even You Lucky Dog with the Chevy Chase movie with Benji from the 80s, because this movie there's really not a whole lot going on. It feels like there were 2 movies kind of crammed together.
I will say that if you could somehow get an edit of this movie that just cuts out all the stuff at the office, it's partly worth it. But if you watch it with your kids, be prepared to explain a lot after.
Yes. Be prepared to answer some questions.
Yeah, get ready for some questions.
Jailbait.
On that fantastic note, I'd never even asked you this before we went on the air, so this is even a surprise to me. Do you have a clue for us?
I do.
Oh boy! So this will be on January the 24th. Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
It's our next film, guys.
Clue.
Okay.
Kevin Costner.
Oh God, that could be so many things.
I know, right?
Oh, I'm scared. As soon as go off the air, I will find out what it is and probably cry. But that's fair because I gave you this one.
Yep.
So that is do you have
That was
anything
it. I
to
do have just a couple. One thing I really gotta ask you. I mean,
well that's
after
weird. We never like this.
what's that?
I said that's just weird. We never usually end like
No,
this, but
no,
go
but
ahead.
I mean, I just feel there's a couple, something that I need to have clarified or cleared
Yeah,
up. I mean,
no, go ahead. Yeah.
so I mean, after the inclusion of, you know, Christopher Walken's retired Angel of Death,
Yeah.
and the buildings that are clearly phallic symbols, along with the inclusion of Elektra and Supergirl,
Hmm.
and the whole idea of Gordon Gekko inhabiting Little Bub for the rest of his existence. Brendan, I just gotta ask,
Yes.
what were they thinking?